How are we doing? Get everything a little bit more centered over here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How's everything going? I'm Jesse. I'm a tea guy. We're starting up a really quick live stream. Let everybody on Discord know that we're on and get on some Guzheng music. Where's my Guzheng music? How are we doing, everybody? We're gonna have a little chill Saturday tea time, because why the hell not? I originally thought I had something to do, that I needed to be out of the house at 10:30, but at 9:30, but it turns out I need to be out of the house at 10:30 around then. So we're gonna go a little bit past 10:40-ish, maybe around then, and just basically just chill out in the meantime, have some tea with everybody, and welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you all so much for joining. We're getting a couple people in. And I'm gonna be starting the first tea in just a moment. If any of you are thinking about having tea, this is your message from the universe to go do it. We're gonna go and just enjoy some tea together, so it'll be really great. Over here we have, my dad is on, Michael Appel. How we doing, Dad? Welcome back from Italy. My dad was on a vacation in Italy. We'll have some nice tea time next week when I go back for Thanksgiving, so that'll be a lot of fun. Very much looking forward to it. Liz Boo Boo says, recently got a tea table and cat infuser mug from you. I love them. Thank you so much. If anybody is interested in getting stuff, we had a huge restock come in and new items dropped. So there will be plenty of time to talk about that as we go about things today. In fact, I'm realizing now I made a big mistake by not having my pufferfish here on the thing. Gotta get all of our tea pets out on here. We have new tea pets that are on the site, new tea pets that have been launching. So we have a pufferfish, a whole bunch of frogs sitting on stuff, all this sort of fun stuff. So welcome everybody. If I miss your comment, please just post it again. I have YouTube over here, TikTok and Instagram, just basically trying to get as many people on as I can. And we just read your timings. Aaron Goldberg says, your videos have reinstilled my love for tea. Thank you so much for taking tea but passionately. Appreciate it. Melon Arms asks, how's Chonky Horse? He's the favorite. Chonky Horse is doing great. He is in my suitcase though, packed up, so I can't get him right now, but we're gonna have some. Lucilla says, just saw the stream started. Gotta go brew some tea first then. Yeah, brew your own tea. We're gonna be basically just chilling here for an hour. You're welcome to come, you're welcome to go. If you have your own teas, whether they're my teas or any teas, whatever you wanna drink, if it's a liquid, this is your time to drink that liquid and take a little bit of a relaxation moment on your day. Welcome everybody. We have a question from It Snopes. Hi, I'm Ukrainian and I very like Chinese tea. That's really cool. How much do Ukrainians know about Chinese tea? Are you unusual that you like Chinese tea in Ukraine, or is it kind of more of a thing? What kind of tea do Ukrainians drink? Always glad to hear about other places and what they're drinking. So for me, what am I gonna drink today? Good question. I think I'm gonna try some of this. What do we got here? I'm gonna try this. These are my samples from the Tea Mountain that our Master Series comes from. This is a sample of what I hope to be a more affordable kind of everyday Master tea that also comes from that mountain, but is still quite good. I've got these samples and I've been drinking them recently, so this should be nice. Very, very cool over here. Over here we have lots of questions. We have ancient tree black tea. Yes, that's what this is. Or red tea, but in the West it's called black tea. But ancient tree, these are from about maybe 100, 120 years old, so not quite as old as the ones that are in the master box. But it is still a very good tea. And part of my goal is to make tea accessible to everybody. So while I love having the really fancy, whatever, 1,000-year tree stuff, and I'm really proud I have that. At the same time, I don't want people to go on the shop and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, there's no tea for me under whatever, $40. It's like, no, we got you covered. Very, very good. Justin says, 你好朋友，我好，你好，你也好啊。有中国朋友在，我们也可以用中文聊天，你直接打汉字我也行。Very good. Great questions over here. We have lots of questions over on all the channels, so I'm going to try to get to these. Lucilla asks, Polish student here. There's a couple of tea houses in my city and a few tea crazy fellows at my uni, so it's a small but flourishing niche in Poland. That's really cool. And I can't make any promises, but I am looking to potentially starting a warehouse in Poland next year, because apparently Poland is a great place to ship to the EU from. And so we're looking into it. I can't make any promises, but I know that the shipping prices for my stuff, because I have everything in the States. So if you're in America and you order from my shop, it goes out and you oftentimes have it within like 2 or 3 days. For European customers, you guys have to wait, unfortunately. And I know there's a lot of good tea people in Europe. It's just, I never imagined when I started this thing that we would have people from Europe watching live streams of me drinking tea, because how could I have possibly guessed that? So here's the first steep, the wash of the ancient tree red. Very, very nice. Questions. We have great questions over here. Probably a stupid question from you, Instagram. Do you wash the tea pets or just wash the tea pets or just let them do you need to clean them? You don't really need to clean them. They get washed with the wash steep, and they get washed with other stuff, and they accrue a patina on the outside, which makes them look even more agey, which is great. Squidward for President says, can't wait for my new spitting frogs, a new tea table. We got restocks of tea tables in. I believe we're in stock in every tea table. We are in stock in all our new items, including our spitting frog tea pets. You can see a little spitting frog on Pumpkin. Maybe I'll make him spit a bit later, but he shoots water. Very glad that people are finally being able to get their stuff, because I know it's been like crazy with the boom we had on YouTube. It's been hard to stay in stock, and so we're kind of fighting to stay in stock, because we have this delivery system set up. We have a great shipping team. Everything goes out normally within 2 days, unless we're out of stock, in which case people are waiting. So I apologize for the people who've kept waiting. Lots of great questions over here on YouTube. I'm sorry, I've been missing a bunch of stuff. Black Dishes says, actually, it's more of a scent than a taste thing for me, but I feel like I missed something from you before. What do you say to people struggling with cooked pu'er? More of a unique taste than I expected. Cooked pu'er is a unique taste. Not everybody likes it. I would say the key is to make sure that you're having as good cooked pu'er as you can. Because the flavor of cooked pu'er is so strong, like people can kind of get away with selling bad stuff and it'll still taste like something. If you sell like bad green tea, it's just like bitter and doesn't taste like anything and nobody likes it. So make sure your cooked pu'er doesn't have like a fishy taste or fishy smell to it. That's usually a sign that the piling process was done badly and like it's not good. Like independently of your own personal taste, that's like something I wouldn't enjoy either. Then you can try altering the steep time as well. If it's too intense for you, back off the steep time or use less tea. A lot of times people will drink cooked pu'er at dim sum restaurants, and because they're cheap, they will use the same leaves over and over and over and over and over and just refill until you get a very, very watered down pu'er. But actually that goes really well with dim sum, because that really rich second, third steep of the cooked pu'er is like too much to match with a lot of foods. But when you water it down a little bit or use a smaller amount of tea and more water, that flavor might be of a better use to you. So I'd give that a try if you have the cooked pu'er on hand. So cheers, everybody. Zen Tea Trader says, I love an oversteep show pu'er. Then also there are people who like it the other way. Cheers to Zen. Very, very cool. Lauren says, greeting from Germany, mein Kumpelerino. I don't know what Kumpelerino sounds like, but it sounds pretty good. Greetings from Germany. Greetings to our friends in Germany from Los Angeles. Welcome, welcome. Questions. Captain Supremio, if you do the wash, even cheap tea becomes decent. Yeah, I think the wash is pretty important. Unless you have tea bags. If you just have a loose leaf tea, even if it's not the greatest loose leaf tea, it will usually be improved by doing that first wash. If you have a tea bag, there's really not much tea in there, and there's not much tea energy in there, so you probably have to drink the first steep. There's only so much to be gained in trying to make really bad tea decent. It's better to start with decent or good tea leaves, and then it makes it a lot easier. Like, it doesn't take a ton of skill to brew really good tea because the tea is so good. Questions over here. Elliot Ness 2 says, for Gongfu style tea brewing, what is the ratio of water to tea for say 3 people? Thank you for the question from YouTube. And we got people all over. So by the way, if my eye line is funky, you know, I have a TikTok over here, Instagram and YouTube. I mean, really the amount of water depends on your lidded cup. This is 120 milliliter Gaiwan. 120 milliliters is a good size, I'd say, for up to 4 people. You'll get a pitcher that's about twice this. And if you're using small cups, then you really will have no problem making 3 or 4 people's worth of tea. You will need to re-steep more rapidly. So like, you know, it becomes more important then to make sure that you don't overfill the lidded cup, because if you make too much tea too quickly and you put it too high, the porcelain here gets really hot. So it can be hard to grasp the porcelain if you're making repeated steeps over and over and over again. But yeah, look at that. I'm really liking this, the Ancient Tree Red. I just love Ancient Tree Red tea. My goal is to find one here. You guys take a look at that. Very good. Look at that color. Excellent, excellent color. Very clear. Very, very clear, if you can see that. My goal is to find another good one from Tianjiajai Mountain, where Sister Ai is from, who does our Master Series, but is a little bit more affordable than the Master Series teas. Question from Liz Boo Boo is pu'er the only tea they put in tea oranges? Usually, but I have seen red tea oranges before, and even once a white tea orange, but they're pretty hard to find. I found a supplier that said that they could do red tea oranges, but then they like refused to follow any of the proper import guidelines. So can't buy them. I'm still looking. Jameson Waters says, Jesse, can we do more videos like the one in Beijing with Wukai? I love that chat for the longer format style of video I watch all day. I love doing that. That's like what tea time is like for me, is like I would just go there and hang out with Wukai and just talk about the tea. Next time I go back, like really the only thing stopping me from making more of those is like editing. So I'm actually trying to like find a team of editors to help me out here, because last time I went back to China, I made like 70 videos in 60 days and it was nuts. I made a short video every single day for 60 days and came out with like all these long videos. But I love doing that, and hopefully when I go back to China next time, I'll have like an editing team in place that will be able to get these out fairly quickly. But yeah, I love doing that. I'm glad to hear you guys like that style of thing, because if I could get those videos to be good, then my life becomes great. I just get to hang out with the tea people and chat. And then, and the other thing that's hard is that they have to be subtitled. So you have to have a Chinese language editor, which is not impossible, but if you have the Chinese language editor, then getting the subtitles done in English is hard. So bilingual editors are hard to find. Eric and Rizzle over here on Instagram says, I've got some Shuixian Oolong that has been sealed in a bag for 5 years. Do you think it will be stale or still good to drink? It should still be good, I think. You give it a try. I haven't tried it. I don't know how oxidized it is. My guess is that that sort of oolong would fare pretty well to being kept, so it should be pretty good. Questions, D, are there any issues when going to China with cameras, recording equipment, etc.? Not really. If you want to film like a movie, like you're going to be putting it in a theater or Netflix, you need to apply for like permissions. Similar to how if you shoot a movie in LA, you know, if you're using a public space, you'd need to apply for permissions. But like, yeah, I mean, everybody in China has phones. So like people are bopping around with their phone, taking video wherever they want. That's not a problem. Maybe if you brought like fancy camera equipment to like Tibet, they might give a problem, but like I've never done anything like that. So I shot everything on my last trip back to China on my phone, which is pretty nuts how good this phone technology has gotten. Very, very good. Lucilla, from my experience, the tea pitchers, the chahai, are surprisingly hard to buy. Even the high quality teaware is easier to find. You know the reason why that is because a lot of these are made of glass, and there's just no way to make money on selling something so cheap. It's not that it's bad quality, it's just like if you're only buying one of these or whatever, you basically have to charge like a really high profit in order to get it there, and it's like better, it's a better deal to like have a whole set. And And that's just because they're big, they're fragile, and they're usually not made of any valuable material. It's kind of like a failure of capitalism, unfortunately. That being said, I do have, maybe, I'm not gonna spoil it, but I'm thinking of selling these. I'm thinking of selling these for Chinese New Year as part of a set, but maybe also by themselves. This is a dragon, gold gilded dragon chahai. White bottom, like I like it. And then if you can see here, it's got gold gilt dragon on it. This is part of a whole beautiful set that's actually nice enough that like, this is not gonna be cheap, but like, it's expensive enough I might be able to sell these on the site for like 20 bucks or whatever. I need to look at the exact prices and the shipping, but it's like, you know, for these, it might cost 15 bucks. For this, it's gonna cost 20. And like, this is a much better deal for 20, right? So the whole set is beautiful, but I don't wanna spoil it because this is our Chinese New Year surprise. We're gonna have all sorts of Chinese New Year stuff coming. I kind of am feeling a little bit overworked because we have Black Friday, Christmas, and Chinese New Year, and we've had to plan for like 3 big seasons simultaneously, but hopefully it'll all be worth it when the spring comes around and we're past all those sales, and I'll be heading back to China for the spring tea rush. What do we think about that? We have a lot of the dragon on top looks super nice. Speaking of fragile, one of the blue and white porcelain cups broke. If you break these from the set, we have extras if you need them. We don't charge you like profit on them. I think it's like 1 or 2 cups is like 15 bucks. You can email tfriendsupport@jessie'steahouse.com or jesse@jessie'steahouse.com, and I'll forward it to our team. But we actually have, for all of our sets on the site, by the way, if you ever need a tea set, I have tea tables, sets, all sorts of stuff on the website, jessie'steahouse.com. I'm Jesse. We have extras of all those pieces just in case they break. So it's not like on the website as a product, it's just a service we have for the customers, because my goal is to make the tea thing easier for people and deal with some of those problems in a way that I guarantee you no Amazon seller is gonna do. Beautiful picture, Michael, so I'll have to get one for your birthday. They're gonna be coming out in front of Chinese New Year if everything works. Ari Atona says, I'm loving the snow jasmine tea and was wondering if you had any plans of introducing more aromatized teas. That's a good question. We have a black jasmine as well. If you like the Yangchun snow jasmine, try the Molihua black jasmine, the black jasmine liubao on the site. If you search black jasmine or you go to the black teas section, you'll see it there. That's a really good one. We also have teas that have orange peel in it, like chenpi. The aged orange peel is a traditional Chinese ingredient as well. And if you get one of the teas that has that aged orange peel in it, that will also kind of have a thing. But like, aromatized and blended teas are not really a huge thing in China. They're usually more like regional, like the xiaoqinggan, like the tea oranges. Like these guys come from a part of the country where they have these little oranges, and it was like a local style that kind of got popular. So it's not like in the West where there's like 10,000 blends. Usually in China, the tea is sourced based off of the area it's from, because where the tea is grown and how it's processed is the biggest thing in determining the flavor. But I'm always looking for more stuff, and I'm looking at a new product that I can't, no guarantees yet, but for the February subscription box, I'm 95% likely going to have this aged orange peel and white tea bundle, which is really cool. I don't want to share too much about it now because I haven't done it yet. But Drama Dirt says the black jasmine is my favorite. Just bought 200 grams. That's great. You'll love it. I mean, that stuff is so good. The moment I got the sample of it, I got this like 100 gram little like sample in a brown bag, like, you know, whatever. It was like a bag like this, but like a third of the size. And I just opened it up, I smelled it, I'm like, that smells so good. I made it for my mom and my dad, and they both loved it. And if my mom and my dad, who are not tea people, if they like it, then it's like, it's really good. But I'm not saying that in the sense that like, oh, real tea people aren't gonna like it, because that tea is actually really unique. If you haven't watched the video I made on it, somebody on YouTube mentioned it, go to YouTube, Jesse's Tea House on YouTube, and search Black Jasmine, Jesse's Tea House, And you'll see a 10, 12-minute video of me at the tea market in Beijing with Wu Kai, my tea guy who sourced us that tea. And even in China, that's an unusual tea. Like Liu Bao is a popular black tea, which is not really sold in the West. So it's hard to get Liu Bao here at all. But then a jasmine Liu Bao, even in China, is a little bit unique. And I just really love that tea. So you won't regret, getting that, the two of them. Speed Tech says, I was going to buy your tea set for Christmas, but I accidentally bought a 3D printer instead. You could 3D print my tea set, which would be a big violation of copyrights, probably, I don't know. Or wait for your next, ask another friend of yours to get you the tea set. These are back in stock, by the way, the travel tea sets. We just got a big shipment in. I bought 600 of them. So if you guys sell out 600 before Christmas, I'm gonna go nuts. But you can see the whole set is right in there. So this is the Gong Fu starter set. And it comes with all of this and a towel and tongs and a teapot. And also recently we've been putting this little magic sponge into them for free, which can be used to clean out porcelain stains. Doing everything we can to make things easy for you guys. Questions over here. My husband dropped it by accident, says Janet's hungry. It's a clean break down the center, so I'm gonna try repairing it with kintsugi. Good luck on that. I've never tried it myself, but it should be fun. Marixia says, how did you become fluent in Chinese Mandarin? Any tips for learning a new language? Yeah, I mean, I first of all, I spent a long time in China. So I lived in China for 9 years. So that's, if you want to learn another language, it's always good to go and live abroad for even a short amount of time. But if you have 9 years, that's good. But it doesn't take 9 years to learn Chinese, at least to a point where you can communicate. I had good teachers, so I took classes. I think for Chinese specifically, the more intensive you can take your classes, the better. If you have the ability to take a actual class or you have the ability to hire a private tutor to do one-on-one tutoring, it often doesn't cost that much money. And you can do like these very intensive study one-on-one. That's really good. Also just listen to a lot of the language. I think people really underestimate how much value there is in just hearing the language. Even if you don't understand it, just listening to the languages, trying to understand. So yeah, maybe not like in your headphones while you go about your day doing nothing, like, watch a movie with subtitles, but that's in the language, Back when I was first in China, it was so long ago, there were no copyright protections in China on like NBA basketball. So I would watch the NBA games in Chinese on these like pirating streaming sites. And they had all the Chinese announcers. And like, watching a basketball game for 3 hours didn't feel like work. But it was another 3 hours of hearing the language and seeing something. And it was maybe a little bit easier for me because it was basketball, which I probably would have been watching anyway. And then if you get a chance to travel and do like, depending on what stage of life you're in, if you're a student, if you can study abroad, if you're, an adult or in between jobs, or you want to make a transition to working in Asia, go live in China for a year, go live in Taiwan for a year, find any job, teach English, do whatever, you can do to like, just have an opportunity to live abroad for a year. And I find that's really, really valuable, and it will be very good for your language. So many, many ways of getting the language skill up, and those are just a couple, but hopefully it's helpful. Questions. Which is the most affordable option to try these kinds of teas? From Celine Bowden. I try to make everything on the site pretty affordable. We have a sampler that's going to be coming into stock about a week from now. I know I said that last week, but this week I actually mean it. We finally cleared customs. The shipment has been a mess. That shipment headed into California instead of New Jersey, where my warehouse is. So even though I'm in California, we now have to ship it to New Jersey so we can ship it to you guys. It's a mess. But in a week or so, we're gonna have an 8 tea sampler that comes out. It's gonna have 8 different types of tea in it. You're gonna get 2 sessions of each. And so that's gonna be a really good way. It's only $40, and that'll basically give you the ability to try many different types of really high quality tea without investing too much in any of them. It's like $5 a tea. So that will mean, that will be my way of being able to get new people into tea as soon as we get that going. If you want to wait for that, you can. But really anything on the shop, if you go and spend whatever, 20, 25 bucks on a bag of tea, 50 grams of tea will do 7 to 10 sessions, 20 something bucks. It's like $2, $3 a session. It's less than going to Starbucks or whatever. And the quality is going to be much better. So even just like buying any given random bag of tea on the site is going to be pretty good, I hope. Luffy Soju on TikTok asks, any tea you'd recommend for somebody who's coming from coffee? I recommend the Da Hong Pao Oolong. Da Hong Pao is a roasted oolong, and so it has some of that roasty note that you might get from like a coffee. It has a sort of darker, it definitely has a darker color to it, dark caramel color. It's got some like punch to it. That's a good option, I think, for people coming from coffee. Also cooked pu'er tea. Cooked pu'er or show pu'er is very dark, very black, and it has a lot of intense flavor to it. So both of those will not taste like green tea if you're coming from coffee. Very, very cool. Questions over here from YouTube. Smooth Yoda says, order my flower teacup. Hopefully shipping makes it before the long weekend snowstorm this week, though. I hope you get it in time. Where's my Jianjiang cup? Hold on. These are the 1,000 flower Jianjiang teacups. These are really pretty. I have them in two different shapes, but this is the 100 flowers glaze pattern. These are new to the site. They just launched 2 days ago. These are really, really beautiful teacups. Jianjiang is just like one of my favorite things ever anyway, so perfect. Questions over here. Lucila says, learning tips for any language. Find some media in the language that keeps your interest enough to keep you motivated and immersed in it. Dramas, movies, books, animations, they all keep you motivated. That's a really good idea. Specifically for Chinese, go to bilibili.com. It's a little bit deep water because it's kind of like the Chinese version of YouTube. Bilibili, B-I-L-I, bilibili.com. That's probably the biggest, most thriving YouTube-esque community in China. And it's a little bit internet-y, but at the same time, it's kind of cool to be bopping around on Chinese YouTube. Very, very nice. Other questions. Cry Guest says, when will the tea subscription be available to join again? We're getting new shipments in. I think the date was November 28th is the expected date for that shipment to arrive. I'm really sorry it went out. I mean, you can tell we're kind of in a growth phase, which is great. Like, you know, my old ways of doing things are not working anymore, which is ultimately good because the new ways of doing things will be better for everybody. If we can buy more tea, the price goes down for everybody. And but it's a struggle in the meantime. So we're doing things to try to help make this restock quicker. Like for instance, the bags that we print in, we have like full printed packaging that has tea cards in here with information on how to make the tea and everything like that. These bags are actually not super expensive if you can get enough of them, but they take a long time to make. So the problem with our previous restocks had been when we wanted to restock, it took whatever 10 days to print the bag. Then we had to fill the bag. Then we had to send it to the port. Then we had to send it to the States. It took a long time. So now we've just printed tons of extra bags. So maybe we're gonna lose that money, but what it will gain us is quicker refills so that we can hopefully avoid those overstocks in the future. We're making it up as we're going along, man. But I really think that the packaging is one of our big selling points in the sense that like it has all the information you need to make the tea really well, and it really adds to the experience. And little detail, we actually have this red stamp. You can see it on there. The red stamp is actually our real jade seal stamp that has been digitized and put onto the packaging. So if you see the red seal here, this was hand carved by master calligrapher Tang Qingnian here in California. Tang Lao Shi did the calligraphy on the buildings at the Huntington Chinese Garden in Huntington Libraries and Gardens in the Chinese Garden. They have a Suzhou style garden there. Tang Lao Shi not only did the calligraphy for this, he did the calligraphy for that. So these little details are like, I know it maybe, I kind of hope that this makes it a like more of a real experience for people, because what I'm trying to get across is like tea is obviously a liquid, but it's so much more than that. And it's been so much more than that for me and for all the people that do tea stuff. So, hopefully these little details kind of come across. Very, very cool. Questions. Good morning from Delaware. I'm looking forward to the tea sampler. I've been really wanting to get into good loose leaf tea. That's a good one to wait for. About a week. We've heard it's going to be shipping out on Monday, and then within that'll give us 48 hours once it gets on the plane on Monday. Hopefully it'll be in the warehouse by around Wednesday or Thursday. And we have everything set up with the technology that the moment it hits the warehouse, it will be up on the site. So we have done all of the preparation we can. I'm really excited to get those to people. For those that don't know, we started by doing a 4T sampler, and that was on the site for the first 2 years that we've run this. And now we've gotten big enough that we can start, making these 8T samplers. Because we can just get people to give us orders. We have bigger purchasing power, so we can actually get different teas that we couldn't have gotten before, which is cool. Questions over here from Willow Spoon Creative LLC. Getting into the next phase is always the hardest. Just when the water reaches the boiling point, it goes from liquid to vapor. I've been watching the journey and you're doing great. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, guys. It actually makes everything so much easier to know that all the customers and supporters who actually buy the tea. Obviously, if you don't want to buy tea, you don't have to. You can watch the videos. I'm glad to have you here. I was a creator first before I opened a tea shop, so I'm doing this for the internet, man. But at the same time, if you are a customer, I'm just so glad everybody's been so chill about everything. We very occasionally will go out of have problems, and people are really nice about it. We have a great customer service team. I don't know if Angel is watching, Bog Body, if she's watching on any of the streams, but we have great customer support people, and it's definitely a progress. I mean, I learned a lot from the tea people that I knew in China about how tea was done, but it's a very different market. So there's a lot of stuff they do that just will not work here. And then I think there's stuff that I'm doing that won't work for them. So we can learn from each other from a certain amount, but at a certain amount, we're kind of in the dark because, maybe Lipton has better ways of importing large amounts of tea, but I don't know them. I don't know anyone in that industry. I'm just a guy that drank a lot of tea. And I speak Chinese, which is really useful because I can call up the tea people and be like, hey, 这50公斤我们要改为55公斤, and explain it all very clearly. So very, very cool. Ariatona says I have to head out. Thanks. It's been a fun tea session. Thank you. Whenever you see me on live, come hang out. Very, very fun. I ordered the blue white porcelain tea set and some Jinjume red. Can't wait to get it. It's from James Rio. Thank you so much, James. And by the way, if anybody makes a purchase while we're on the stream, and James, I'll count yours as well, let me know which tea pet you want me to give you a tea pour from. So just tell me that you've made an order just now, and I'll tell you which of the I'll let you choose. We have the puffer fish, big puff. We have squash frog, which is a frog on a squash. And we have pumpkin frog, which is a frog on a pumpkin. And we'll give you a tea pour of whichever one you want. So James, let me know which one you want me to pour on. Very, very cool. Krista Mask says, good morning from Oregon. Your content's so inspiring. Thank you so much. I studied Chinese culture in university. Content's been amazing for helping me keep up with the tea culture in Mandarin. Cheers. It is important. I feel like I should do more videos entirely in Chinese. When I started, I did more videos in Chinese, but I should really do some. Give that puffy boy some from James. There we go. Bam. Thank you so much for the purchase. I really do appreciate everybody's help. You guys getting stuff from the site means I can actually do more videos and spend more of my time. And most importantly, we're getting to the point where I can start to afford editors, which opens up a lot of stuff. So keep an eye out for new stuff dropping on the YouTube, especially next week. Very, very fun. Liz Boo Boo says, after watching your videos, I started tea time with my mom. We've grown closer. I can't thank you enough. Thank you so much. The tea's doing good work. The tea, you know, the power's in the tea. It's not me. It has that going for it. I don't know what it is. Cheers. Some things are like way more than what they are, if you know what I mean. And the tea it has that power to bring people together. I'm very, very happy to hear that. Thank you so much. Questions over here. Those tea pets are so cute. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I love the tea pets. These are the new tea pets that are in the new launch. Pufferfish, big puff. Questions over here. Is there a date for the launch of the sample box already? Or are you expecting it to sell out quick? We're not expecting it to sell out quick. I bought 1,000 of them. So if we sell 1,000, and you know, that would be great. We have 1,000 and we have 800 more coming. So we will be in stock on the samplers. They should arrive about next Wednesday. So the hope is that those will definitely be available before the end of November, and they'll definitely be available coming up for Christmas. So if you're looking for like a gift either for yourself or for someone else, the $40 AT sampler is a really good idea. You know, please surprise the hell out of me and make me sell 1,000 of those, because that would be amazing, but not gonna happen. Here we go. 42 said, I made a purchase yesterday. Please pour one out for the frog. I'll give that to you. Give him the last of this stuff. I'll give both frogs of that for you. There we go. Thank you so much for the order. For those of you who are interested in getting started, you should check out jessesteahouse.com. I'm Jesse. I'm a tea guy. Basically, I know tea people, porcelain people back in China. I lived there 9 years. Tea was my hobby. I met all these people, and then during the pandemic, I got stuck here in the States, and I couldn't do my normal job. So I started making tea videos, and now we're doing it, man. I really think it's like one of the biggest, fastest growing tea communities on the internet. It's gotta be, right? Between all the platforms, we're up around 800,000 followers now, which is crazy. There's almost, you know, three quarters of a million people watching me make tea at some point. Cheers. That's absurd. But it's a great thing. It's a great thing. Questions. It's Jeff. When the heck you gonna start selling on TikTok Shop? Jeff from TikTok? Yeah. Oh, we're working on this. So Jeff, thank you so much for your help. We're working on getting our nutrition stuff labeled, so we're probably going to be stickering every bag. We are incorporating the nutrition information into the new packaging for our future stuff. And for the actual operation of the stuff, we're already putting out word to hire somebody to be able to do the onboarding and the like, you know, product, making sure all the products are labeled correctly, because I don't want to wind up getting any violations because like it was a tea but we labeled it as porcelain or vice versa, and it's been nutty on my end trying to get everything going. But I'm very excited to start selling on TikTok Shop eventually, and we are looking forward to that. Every day we grow closer. So thank you again for all the help. Message me on Lark. I don't think you should need to have nutrition label. Oh, I will message you on Lark as soon as I'm off this call then, because that's what's really holding us up. The description thing kind of implies we have to have it, but it's just tea. It's all packaged properly and hot sealed. It's like, this has got to be better than a lot of the stuff that's like, you know, some dude in their apartment throwing a bunch of tea and making their own blend. Like, it's all done properly and packed in official facilities and stored in an FDA approved facility. So it's good. I think the rule was it was implemented, doesn't make sense, can help fight it for you. There we go. All right, TikTok people, get excited, because we've been trying to make it work. I'll message you on Lark, and I'm very excited because you see here, like the tea is like, it's a thing, and also the tea and the tea equipment, it goes together. So it's exciting to be able to get people started. I don't know why, a lot of tea places don't really sell equipment. A lot of the equipment places don't really sell tea. They kind of each have their own thing they do well and then kind of half-ass the other. And so it's been part of my thinking from the start to try to make this like, you know, easy. So that would be great. World record holder says, if I buy something from the shop, can you sign it for me? That's a great question. I would need to think about how to do that, because the stuff is I lived in a different place in the warehouse. In the very early days, I'll show you the very early days, we literally packed everything by hand in cardboard boxes, and like we filled these up ourselves And as much as there's something romantic about this, and I could have signed this for you, it was a total logistical nightmare. And I had like my mom and my dad and like our synagogue and the Chinese class in my high school, everybody working like 8-hour days to pack these boxes. It was like a total mess. So we work with professionals now that do the packing. So that would be very, very cool. But yeah, very excited to be able to get the stuff to you guys. And if I can't sign it, maybe I'll think of something I could do in the future like that. So questions. Willow Spoon Creative says, if you do need a nutrition label, I have a resource that might be helpful. I can message you. Yeah, PM me just in case. I think we solved it, but at the same time, it would be good to know because there's a lot of like weird, like, I don't know if what I'm reading is right. I'm trying to do the best I can. I'm not trying to break any laws. But like, you never know. Like, there's no one place. If you start a business in America, nobody comes and tells you, here's how you do your taxes. Here's how you do everything else. You have to hire people to do all this stuff, and that's expensive. So wherever I can try to do it myself, I'm trying to do it myself. But like for taxes, I can't deal with that. Very good. Very good. For questions over here, how do you organize all your tea? Mysterious K. My tea is not anywhere near as organized as I'd like it to be. I have a couple boxes off screen you can't really see. I have a box that's all Jesse's Tea House teas that are unopened because I keep a couple bags of everything in the house just in case I want to drink it. I have a box that's like all tea samples. I have a whole bunch of tea cakes here at the bottom. I don't know if you can see it, but I have these like, wicker baskets here that are full of tea cakes. So like this is kind of where I keep most of my cakes. And I have this little like, ladder thing. I wish I could buy like 4 more of these. I got it at like a used furniture store. I don't know where they go. And then I also bought these ottomans. And these ottomans actually have the top that comes off. I can store some tea in there. And then of course the big one is for the business. Like, I have a warehouse because where am I going to keep a couple hundred of these, right? These are nice and they don't take up that much space if you have like one in your house. But if you're like if you have like 5 of them or 500 of them, it's kind of nuts. And as far as I know, I'm the only person in America putting these sorts of tea tables into a boat and shipping them over and getting the savings because all this stuff is really expensive online. It's usually not because the materials are crazy expensive. Obviously, they're not cheap, but like, especially when you get for the stone tea tables and stuff. But the big problem is the shipping, because it turns out that all of like the Amazon drop shipper tea people are sending these by air one at a time from China because they don't live in America. They don't have a warehouse in America and they don't know how to set one up. And it's expensive. It's a big commitment, and there's not that many people that buy these. Like, it's not like I decided like what has a market, and it's like, no, I don't have any idea how big this market is. I just love tea, so I'm trying to create this place where like if I had a real tea shop, and one day maybe, like what would I put in there? What would I put in my like real tea shop? What kind of teas would I serve? What kind of aesthetic and what kind of price ranges? And so that's been the way that I've tried to organize the shop. And it turns out that if you can, we're lucky to get there, but if you can, I basically make these big bets. Like I make an investment. I say, I hope eventually I'll be able to sell 500 of these. And then if you do that, you can send them over on a boat and you can save a lot of money, and that brings the price down. So like, these tables, the big stone table, this is $168 on the site. I think you'd have trouble finding it cheaper than $300 if it were online anywhere else, because the free shipping is not free. You pay for the shipping one way or the other. So very, very excited. Marixia says, have you ever tried Darjeeling and Assam tea? I've had some. I had a little, I didn't have any high level tea when I was in India. I went to India for 6 days in 2014, 15, or 16 or something like that, I want to say. 2015, I want to say. No, I had the comedy club then, so it would have been 2017 or something like that. But I I had like, they drink a lot of milk tea, and a lot of the Indian teas are made for British taste because it was a British colony. They were growing the tea for the British, not themselves. And then when the British liked added milk and sugar to stuff, so they made teas that are very strong and incredibly punchy and actually just straight up bitter a lot of times. But they're meant to be balanced with milk and sugar. I've also had a smaller amount, but what I've really enjoyed of higher level teas, mostly Darjeeling, that were made for the higher end, like either export tea market or the very small but existing Indian high level tea market. And those are much better. I had a really good, I want to say Rishi hot. It was like super tippy, orange, flowery, golden pico or something like that. I don't know the British terminology for the tea, but there were a lot of adjectives. And generally in the West, I'm an American myself. Americans love adjectives. The more adjectives you have, the better. You have black tea, mango, peach, marshmallow, soda black tea. Whoa, that's like 4 adjectives. That thing's good. So the flowery, special, golden, tippy, orange, pico, whatever it is, a lot of adjectives, but it was really good. It tasted almost like an oolong. It was like it was a black tea, but it was very lightly oxidized. I had it actually in all places in Mexico, in Puerto Vallarta, 83 grados. If we have any Puerto Vallartan Mexican tea friends, you can go to there's a tea house called 83 grados, 83 degrees. And that was a great experience. I had a lot of fun there. Great place. Definitely go and check it out. Questions. If we have a question, when is the restock for the website going to be? Almost all the tea cakes are sold out. We have more restocks coming. We had a big restock come in of most of our tea equipment. The teas, we're getting some more in next week, and we're getting some more in the week after that. I think the big cakes are going to be coming the week after that in early December. We're sending everything by air. We're doing it as fast as we can. I mean, I'm not raising the prices, but like we're just paying more for shipping because I want to get them back in stock as soon as possible. So very, very excited to have those show back up on the site. Really great questions over here. We have so much great stuff. How to Get It Into Tea Ceremony by Ratford Alcatraz. Rat Lord, I'm sorry, Mr. the Rat Lord, Sir Alcatraz. I mean, the first step is just like make some tea. Like I have these Gongfu tea sets. Ceremony is an interesting word. You could call this a ceremony, but it doesn't have to be ceremonial. If you want to learn like true tea ceremony, there is that. You'd probably have to take a class in China. Or Japan. The Japanese really love the tea ceremony. But just from a day-to-day basis, like, you know, this is somewhere between I call it more of a practice than a ceremony. It's you know, it's taking some time to be good for yourself, good for your body, good for your mind, be social. If you don't literally have a friend over, hang out on the internet with tea people. Cheers, everybody, by the way. This tea is doing real well. You see the color here, very good color here, even though we're probably 9 steeps in. Still excellent color, still excellent flavor. This has, this is not the best red tea I've ever had in my life because I've had the red tea from the 1,000-year trees on the same mountain and that is better. But for what the tea farmers are charging, this is a really, really good tea. And it may find its way into a future sampler based off of what I'm drinking here. It's got a little bit more punchy. Also, part of the thing, I should say this again, part of the reason teas are expensive is not necessarily because they're straight up better. It depends on your taste. So the difference between this one and the 1,000-year tree, this is about a 100-year tree, the other one's a 1,000-year tree. The main difference is in the just sort of the subtlety of the 1,000-year tree. If you drink a lot of tea, you like having many different flavors, kind of fruity, kind of floral, kind of this, kind of that, sweet, but some depth, but also not overpowering. But not everybody wants that type of flavor. This is very similar to that tea in many, many ways because it comes from the same mountain. It's just younger trees, but the flavor is more punchy. It's not like crazy. but it's definitely got more of like a forward middle flavor to it. And some people like that. Like if I were making milk tea, this would be better than the 1,000-year tree. Not just because the 1,000 years is more expensive. It would just straight up be better. I think this would work better with if it were working with milk. That being said, in the Chinese tea tradition, you don't usually use milk. So that's part of the way it works. So questions over here. We have a question from Gaius Baltard did nothing wrong. Says, is it bad to break off pour cake tea and make it loose leaf and put it in a tin? I don't care much for the cake format and would rather it be loose leaf in a tin. Good morning. Apologies if you already answered the question. No, you can do that. I know people that like, I have these on the site. Ooh, you use it more often, but like these are like storage containers, and like you could totally break up a tea cake and just put it in there. I know people that, especially when they have really old tea cakes that are really crumbling and falling apart and the paper is ripped, they will crumble up the tea cake into chunks, maybe about like one chunk a serving, just, chunk, store it all in some sort of jar or container. And then they'll also keep the original paper in there too, because they may want later on to know, again, which tea it is, what mountain, what year, all that stuff is in the original packaging. So it's not bad to store it with the original packaging, but you could totally do that. I have tea cakes up there. They look good when they're like close to full. When you get like half done with one, there is that temptation to just break it up and store it somewhere, which I'm okay with that. Another reason people break them up is if they're just very loosely packed. Like some tea cakes are just loosely packed. And so if they're really loosely packed, they can kind of fall apart on themselves. And so, yeah, do whatever works for you. Very, very good. Very good. We have another question over here from something in Japanese. Something, I can't read it. I like sweet teas. Any good options? Yeah, if you like sweet tea, I would go green tea or white tea. Green and white tea, both very sweet, very floral. White tea is gonna have more depth and herbal flavor. Green tea is gonna have more scent and like just freshness. Green tea and white tea, both good options for you. I have a lot of good green teas on the site. Try the Moganshan green tea, Moganshan, Moganshan. That's really good stuff. We're already working to restock those. We're in stock now, but I just don't want to run out. So we're already restocking them. We're gonna do one more question. Very, very good over here. Drinking tea, Kaylee says, drinking tea, watching a live stream, chilling with a sleeping cat, wonderful more. There you go. Doesn't get any better. What more do you need out of life? How do you manage water temperature with a normal kettle instead of an electric kettle? I'll share that. So I'm gonna boil my water up to here to boiling. So the easy way, there's a hard way and an easy way. The hard way is to know the size of the bubbles and what they correspond to. So if you're looking at bubbles, very small bubbles, what are those? Bigger bubbles, stream of bubbles. The easy way is to boil the water, take it to boiling. I'm gonna do it here for you. And I'm about to leave, so not wasting tea. I was already about to leave. Cheers. Boiling water into your pitcher. The pitcher will start to absorb the heat from the water and start to bring it down. You can also swirl to be able to increase that, to make more steam go up and have more parts of the glass absorb. And you can also, either with another glass or with any sort of vessel, pour back and forth, and this is gonna cool the water pretty rapidly. When you get to the point you can have your hand, then you can, hold on. Hey Google, turn off my timer. That means I have to go. But if you have, if you're making like a green tea and you're going for around 80 degrees Celsius, you should be able to put your hand there and very comfortably keep it. It'll be warm, but you should be able to keep your hand there. It's actually a bit hot. I would cool this even a little bit more if I were making green tea, but that's one way to do it. And yeah, take it up to boiling, cool it down. Because otherwise it's a lot harder to tell coming up. With boiling, you know where it started and you'll kind of get an idea of like how long it takes to get it down. So very good. Dudes, I gotta go. it is. It was a good surprise tea time for me. I wasn't planning on having any live stream today, but I thought I had somewhere I needed to be at 10:50, and it turns out I need to be there at 11:50, and so I am doing that. So sounds good. Have a good one, guys. And if you want any tea stuff, holidays coming up, do support the page. I really do appreciate everybody's support. You don't need to send gifts or anything like that. Go and get some tea and try the good teas. We had a big restock up on the site, jesseteahouse.com. I'm your friend Jesse. I'm a tea guy. And if you guys have any other questions, do comment in the videos, because I look through the video comments for ideas for video for future videos. So if you ever have any questions, put them in the comments of the videos. It's a lot of fun. So very, very good. Thank you guys so much for watching. Really appreciate it. Have a great day. And cheers, everyone. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, guys.